Искам да дума туменца, мишто са некогдата ме се малуна лепадато хаеме кам да дума туменца андай EU settlement scheme андай residența Romanes. Amența gadai sesiunea să le cărdeni Qatar mai but organizații, haiek handalende să le Roma super grup kai me reprezentivla i platforma să le deni Qatar i pomoc organizația Polish Migrant Organize for Change, hai amena jitulami i organizația Public Interest Law Center, hai Jean de Mars, Sara Maro, legal advisor sau avocato. Shukra, I can hear myself on the background. I'm not sure what to do with this background noise. So hello everyone. Once again, my name is Aluna Lepadato, and we will be speaking today about EU settlement scheme. And this live stream is organized by several organizations, one of which is Roma Super Group, Public Interest Law Center, and Polish Migrant Organize for Change. We have with us Jean de Mars, our legal advisor, who will be speaking to us in English about EU settlement scheme, about the statuses we can have, and I will translate everything that he says into Romanes language so a bigger amount of beneficiaries can hear and understand us. Hello, Jean.
Hi, Aruna, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So let's talk about EU settlement scheme.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I will share my screen to get the presentation on. Okay.
Yep.
So the presentation, or what I want to talk about today, is actually about the rights and entitlements of EU nationals after Brexit, not just the EU settlement scheme. So a little bit more broad, if that's okay.
Yeah, just allow me a few minutes, thank you. So camelo jante del duma sile andal ciacimata handle beneficii ca le manoshandai European Union, dai Uniunea Europa che da stinte lenla pala Brexit. Okay.
Let me just wait. Okay. Can I just if I do that? Hold on, I'm still kind of playing around with the tech.
Of course. Ожан kam se kaela me gajek prezentacija. Hai romale kana tume kamente pușenami scrinami gandul comentarii su problemi se tume me kam încercos te penas tume gasak te rezolvinle. Kamata nap tume gaminte kamen ashileme mai hansi de show de shahat panj guess kai te kerentu mari aplicația. I just remind everybody once again that feel free to comment under the video. If you have questions, we will try to answer your questions. And remember that we, from now on, have less than 65 days until the application deadline.
Okay, I'm going to have to do it that way. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So by way of introduction, since the 31st of December 2020 at 11 o'clock, the free movement of EU nationals to and from the UK ended.
Cam asta e nastumega că de potranda iec decembrie 2020 deșu e heste raki le manoș andai Uniunea Europa che ni mai da știnte din andi Anglia ușor, trebule documente necesare.
But until the end of June, there is a grace period for those who were living in the UK before that date but haven't applied to remain in the UK yet.
Tale și potranda iunie 2020 iec siec perioada ec vremea ca bușol perioada de grație sau grace period ca ele manoș încă da știn te căren le aplicații ca na un deja trainas ande Anglia jean dotranda iec decembrie 2020.
This period is to give 6 months extra for people to apply for settled status or pre-settled status. And so everyone needs to make sure they apply by 30th of June.
Gadaia vremea să lidini ca saură te daștin te aplikin încă show-shon, să tume ca te aplikin ca rezidența EU settlement scheme, ca na tume sanas ca tende Anglia, jando bărș ca sas, ca naclea.
In the presentation that follows, we will go through each immigration status and look at what rights and entitlements people have, such as work, housing, benefits, health, and community care.
Anda kada je prezentacija mea campionas tu menga so ciacimata tu men si tu me so statusuri da știnte primin, hai so beneficia cam da știnte len. Cam das duma pe tema anda buki, anda o căr, anda o beneficia, anda tu mă rog să stimos, hai mai but chestii că tu me cam deja nen.
Finally, it's really important to understand that no life story fits into a box, and so the presentation is not substitute for legal advice. It's going to be, I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible, but if your story is more complicated than those simple boxes, then you need to seek legal advice.
A mea cam asta panas tu menga că fisa e situația să li diferime, ca na tu men se tu me situația mai pari de ca na gudula anda sa mea cam das duma, tu me da știnte scrii na menga hai mea cam încercoste ajutis tu me tarakhan sarte rezolving de situația tu mari.
Let's begin with settled status.
A mea cam începoste da duma anda settled status sau statutul permanent.
Exactly. Settled status is also called indefinite leave to remain because it allows people to remain in the UK as long as they want, and they have full entitlements.
O settled status o mai bușol aver felul indefinite leave to remain că o deltume voie și încă te andi Anglia câte vremea ca men, hai deltume mai bud ciacimata.
People are entitled to work, they're entitled to get housing assistance if they become homeless, they're entitled to welfare benefits, to health care, and to community care, social care if you can't look after yourself. Basically, it's all the same rights as a British person would have.
Kana tu mensi tu meu statuso settled, tu me da știnte rakân buchei, te trăin ca te de Anglia te rakân căr, te magân beneficia, te el tu me te jan ca GP, da, te el tu me te roden tu mare să stimastar, hai tu me da știn te len să e beneficia socială sau sar community care. Deci tu mensi tu mi sare ciacimata sare cetățeanul britanicu.
Two things I should say. Settled status is granted to those who have been living in the UK for more than 5 years before the 31st of December 2020.
No. Tu me da știn te aplikin jipo tu me da știn te aplikin ca na tu me sa nasca te jando decembrie 2020.
And I want to say a word about how you might lose it.
Hai me cam asta panas tu me sar tu me da știn de hastarin ga da statuso.
If you leave the UK for 5 years or more, you may lose the status.
Kana tu me san avri andai Anglia mai bud de 5 bărși, tu me da știn de hastarin ga da statuso.
Or if you commit a crime and you are sentenced to prison for 12 months or more.
Sau kana tu me arasline andobar, hai trăgunte beșen panda de mai bud de deșuduișon, mai bud de bărși. Atunci hastarin statusul.
Finally, if you have settled status for 1 year or more, you are also able to apply for British citizenship.
Kana tu men se tu me gădeau statusul settled mai bud de ec bărși, tu me da știnte că rentul mare aplicația mai dur te primine cetățenia britanică.
Okay. We go on to pre-settled status.
Of course. Mai dura mea cam dați dumanda statusul pre-settled.
Pre-settled status is given to people who have been living in the UK for less than 5 years before the 31st of December 2020.
Kana tu me trăinas ande Anglia mai hanți de 5 bărși, jiandu decembrie 2020, tu me da știnte aplikim ca o pre-settled status.
And it is I guess a visa that gives you 5 years limited or maximum of 5 years to remain in the UK.
Hai gada e silu e felul de visa, ca e del tu me voie ta șen ande Anglia 5 bărși.
After these 5 years, you can apply for settled status.
Paлагада la 5 bărși, tu me te apliquin mai dur ca o settled status.
However, if you reach the 5 years before the end of this, you can also apply for settled status. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, cana tu me deja se tu meu statusul de 5 bărși, da, tu me ni trebuie te jucaren mai mult tu me, dar te apliquin de data cana tu me. Well, shall I explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, just perhaps a sentence to say that if people have lived in the UK for 3 or 4 years, they don't need to wait until the end of their pre-settled status to apply for settled status. As long as they've built 5 years, then they can straight away apply for settled status.
Сонса много да ја верелајенца. Кана туме траина де Англија во дујтрен бърш, хај туме карени апликација АГЕС, туме ни требун те жукерен încă 5 bărși, da? Tume trebun te jukeren jica împlinind tumare 5 bărși de cana sana de Anglia. Deci când aplichi sardine pa la 3 bărși so sana de Anglia, mai jukeren încă 2 bărși, hai aplichind mai dur ca o settled status.
You are entitled to work.
Tume da știnte cărem buchi, cana se tume gădăua statuso.
However, in terms of help with housing and benefit, it depends on whether or not you are working or exercising another treaty right, and I can go into some detail, a bit more detail about this.
Tale cana te primin ocăr, da, sau le beneficii ute să mai but reguli ca tu me trebuie te avel tu me sau te folosinle ca te primin de la mea cam das duma mai but anda de la teme.
There is currently a legal case to be heard in the Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the UK, to decide whether or not people with pre-settled status should be entitled to housing, help, and welfare benefits just the same as those with settled status.
Ande crisi bari anda Anglia cana că jale cauza, da, că te del voia le manoșenga ca să le pre-settled, te primin le beneficii ale cheresche, hai aver mai but beneficii că ja cana că le n-ai le but ciacimata pe gădai tema, n-ai le voia, cam de caso cam so decizie cam mai el.
But until the outcome of that judgment, the access to housing and benefits is still reliant on people either working and having worked recently.
Tale jica să amenguduie decizia, so da știnte că rentume canacamentele în cărăn de chirie sau camentele în tumare beneficia, dependil, deci să le tumare responsabilitate, dependil că natume cărdine buchi, că natume sanas rezidentul la șo de țara, hai să mai but puncte că trebuie el, tume că te da știnte primingă de la beneficia.
Or equally to be a family member of someone who is working or exercising another treaty right.
Sau tu me trebuie en membru de familie avere manoșescu, da? Ca ele să le zgudu la ciacimata, ca o cărel buchi, sau să le mai bu ciacimata de Anglia.
For these two entitlements, I would strongly advise to get legal advice if you need access to housing or benefits and you're in that category, that immigration category. Because there's often a lot of kind of confusion, both on the side of the authorities as well as those who are trying to access those rights.
Kana tu me să nadgădăie situația mea, das tu me sfatul te rodin jak sfatul legalo, da, că gădăie situația să le mai gădea mai specifico, hai, ni daš să te rezolvil pe acana, că ni daš te das tu me mai but sfatul. Deci, contactina men, hai mea cam încercos să te ajutis tu me.
In terms of access to healthcare, you have access to free healthcare, hospital treatment, and also community care. And again, what I mean by community care is if you have care needs that you're not able to look after yourself and you need extra support to look after you or someone in your family, then you're able to access those.
Deci, cam se pensando do sistemos. Tu me das tinte jan an hospitalo, tu me das tinte el tu me ek GP, das tinte gada medicina sile biloing, ni promonte pokinen. Hai tu me das el tu me community care. Son semnol gada ya, cana tu me se tu me probleme să stimască mai bare, da? Hai cana tu me necesitate te el tu me ajutor adiționalo, tu me das tinte el tu me gada o ajutor că tende Anglia cana se tu me pre-settled status.
Okay. Move on to the next category.
Maybe we can change the slides on the screen.
Yeah.
Because
Can you see the change?
No.
Okay. Sorry, because I changed it before, and I thought you could see it. Hold on a second. So it's not. Oh, right. Yeah, that's not how it's meant to be.
Me rog să râdem le manușes, te schimbul le slide-uri ca tu mire daștin sate de când s-o scriu pe ecranul.
That's very strange. It seems that it doesn't.
Yeah, I will just remind people to comment. So please, in English, of course, if you have any questions related to your clients, if you're a professional, please comment below this video and we will try to respond. Romale, kana tu mensi tu me pushimata, kana kamente aflin mai buta, da tu mări situația personală sau kana genene kmanoș, țilis problema, hai kamente rezolvin la screen, me ganda comentarii, hai me cam încercos te răspunzi stumente.
Okay, so I'm going to bring it back on again.
Yeah.
Share screen, and I'm going to do that. And maybe this time we're going to do it differently.
Or we can continue with the presentation.
It's okay.
Yep. Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yep, it's good.
Can you see me change it?
Yes.
Okay, so we had settled status, pre-settled status, and now we will go on to
Mea încerc să sigur să prezentația pe ecranul, să la niște momente tehnice.
Okay. Can you see the EU nationals living in the UK?
Yes, I can see the slide.
All right. So the next category is to think about or to talk about people who arrived before the 31st of December but haven't applied for settled status yet or pre-settled status.
Akana ka me kama se das duma andel manosh andei Uniunea Europa ke kai train ande Anglia hai saska te Anglo tranda yek decembrie 2020 tale încă nicăr din epesche aplicația ca rezidența. Poate mașcarlen de si hai tine.
As we said before, they benefit from a period of grace. Basically, they have until the 30th of June to apply. I cannot overstate enough the fact that they need to apply as soon as possible and no later than the 30th of June 2021 for settled status if they want to remain in the UK.
Kana tume kamenta shen ande Anglia hai tume san mașcar budula manoș kai sanas ka teji ando decembrie 2020 hai încă nicăr din tu mare aplicația tume mai situme încă vremea te curent tu mare aplicația că kana nicăr în la camașen ilegalo. I just want to remind that we have less than 65 days to make the application. Deci ne căren aminte că tume situme mai hanți de 65 este mai curent tu mare aplicația.
It could make their situation very difficult after the 30th of June, and they might be liable to removal or deportation after that date.
Kana tu meni curent tu mare aplicația, tu mare situația că mai cam pari, le manoș te aflina că n-ai tu meu statusul, dar știn te deportin tu meu în Anglia.
There are situations by which you may be able to apply after the deadline, but again, it's really important that you make yourself known to a legal advisor or that you try and apply before the 30th of June. It will be much, much easier for you, even if you don't have all the paperwork.
Andoghes situații de excepție, ca tu mi-e daștinte mai aplikind palau data limite, tale tu mi-e trebun deja aghes te rodin sfatul legalo, că gădea si situația mai lungă, mai parihet vultume butlila te eltume.
Even if you haven't got a valid passport or ID, please do and speak to someone and try and submit an application before the 30th of June.
Chiar că natume n-ai tume documento, pasaporto sau buletino valabilo, da, că natuma rolil silo experime, saek tume trebunte în cerconte care tumari aplicația aghe sau te denduma ec hamanoșesa, ec immigration advisor, legal advisor, care te ajutiu tume te căren vuși deja aghes.
In the meantime, you are still entitled to work and to access hospital and other health services.
Jia canak și atunci tu me mai dăștin ce aceste căren buchi, hai te el tu me grija tu mare să stimastar.
And you would only be able to access housing support and benefits until the 30th of June if you are also working or have worked recently.
Hai cana tu me căren buchi sau cărdine buchi în decât perioada, tu me încă dăștin te primin beneficia, hai te aplikin ca o căr, tale gădaia, dăștin te căren doar ji o tranda iunie, 2000 hai biștaiec.
You are not entitled to community care unless it would breach your human rights, but often what the social services would say is that they might try to help you return to your country of origin rather than help you here.
Tu me ni dăștin te primin gădau ajutor ca bușul community care, da, ca na trebul tu me ajutor extra ajutor tu mare să stimasco. Haile manoș dăștin te penen tu me că mai mișto ca nasana de gădea situația, cam bișerând tu me căre te primind cu două ajutor de România, de Bulgaria, ca tărsan tu me, de ca ana te den tu maro ajutor ca te.
Okay, and now we're on to the final category, which are EU nationals who have arrived after the 31st of December 2020.
Acana că cam das duma andal manoș de Uniunea Europa că ai line ande Anglia pala o tranda ec decembrie 2020.
If you're the family member of someone who was living in the UK before the 31st of December, then you should apply either to the EUSS scheme or for a family permit before you come to the UK.
Cana tu me san membru familiaco e că manoșescu că ai deja silo ande Anglia hai siles o statuso, tu me da știnte că rin aplicația canacă.
If you do not have family here, or if you do not apply as a family member before you come here, you will be given a 6-month visitor visa.
Cana tu me n-ai tu me membri familiacă ca te, tu me da știn te aplikin pe visa de vizitator, da?
That visa does not entitle you to very much at all. You're not entitled to work. You're not entitled to help with housing, although you do have the right to rent somewhere. You do not have the right to benefits, and you do not have the right to social care. I will come back on the health after that, if you don't mind, Aluna.
Yes, of course. Gadaia visa del tu me voie te așina de Anglia pășoușon, tale ni del tu me voie te cărem buchii, te roden căr, te primim beneficia, hai te primin o extra ajutor o să stimasco ca bușul community care.
If you want to access free healthcare in the UK, it is possible, but you will need to apply for European health insurance card in your country of origin before coming to the UK, and that's really important to have that card before you come to the UK.
Da. Ca automaticamente primi asistență medicală gratis ande Anglia, Anglica itaien ande Marea Britania, tu me trebuie aplikin ca ec European insuranța da să stimasche Europache, ande tu mari țara Anglica itaien ande Anglia.
after the 6 months or at the end of the 6 months of your visitor's visa, you will either need to apply for a different visa in the UK or return to your country of origin.
Pala sona khanga de la shon kai tu mari visa, tu me kam drăbun te aplikin ca ec aver visa sau tirin tu me parculen da tu mari țara. Tu meni kam daștin te așen ca te pala shon.
But what is really important to understand, and it's deceptively simple, is that EU nationals will not have any preferential treatment anymore. That means that anyone after the 6 months will be treated as any other person from any country in the world.
Sos importantul de hakerin că le manoșul cetățenii către Uniunea Europeană, palaga de la șunșon, nica mai en deosebiți de penada special ca ten de Anglia, on ca mai en manoș sar saura aver, hai nica mai ele ciacimata mai but, ca mai en egal avere manoșința de saura aver țări.
Is that okay, Aluna, on this?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. There's a final slide, just a few more words on children, and I'm gonna divide it in two. First, I want to talk about children who were born in the UK.
A mea că cam das duma andal chaure, hai gadaya tema mea cam das la duma and tipnas dui secțiuni. Din cam das duma andal chaure ca sas arakhade ande Anglia.
If parents already have indefinite leave to remain or settled status when the child is born, then the child is already British and can apply directly for a British passport.
Canale shaură care hade ca ten de Anglia, lângă părinți deja sile indefinite leave to remain, le shaură deja daștinte aplichind ca o pașaportul britanico.
If parents obtain settled status or indefinite leave to remain after the child is born, or the child reaches 10, like 10 years old, then the child can apply to register as a British citizen. But it will need to register as a British citizen before applying for a passport.
Canale părinți primisar de o indefinite leave to remain palaso arakhade pescă ceavores, o ceavoro da știl te aplichil ca o pașaportul britanico doar cana împlinil deș bărș, tale mai Anglia ca te aplichil ca cetățenia britanico, o trebuie te aplichil ca aver statutul dacă dovedil că o arakhade la o caten de Anglia.
It is worth noting that the registration for a British citizen actually at the moment costs just over £1,000, but it is likely to be reduced in cost following a court case which we are awaiting.
Cam asta până spune că te aplichind ca cetățenia britanico, trebuie te pochinen mai bud de 1.000 lire, tale a mea stărui să mi date marasa me te na pochinas, ca na că jalec cazo ande cris ande Anglia, hai mea încercoste că rasea posibil ca te gadala loete na pochinempe.
Now, for children born abroad, it's generally easier to apply for settled status in line with parents, like to attach the application to those of the parents.
Deci, ora că sas arakhade a avri andai Anglia, unde știnte că pesche aplicația pala pescă părinți. Deci, lângă aplicația trebuie el pandadi ca aplicația pescă părințenghe.
This slide has been simplified to the maximum, and so it's really important to seek more information either from the project for the registration of children as British citizens or just from a legal advisor, so you can explore your children's situation.
Gadawa slide-ul, gada informația sas, a mea pendeam tu mingula foarte simplu, ca na tu mecamente aflin mai but informația den po site-ul ca de când le spot umaro ecrano, screen-a menga, screen-a după mă tromo super grup, hai pil, hai mea cam încercat să dați tu mai but informația.
And that's it. We can go on to question if that's okay.
Yeah. Rugima tumenga kana situme pushimata screen menga do comentarii haimea cam încercos de răspunzis. I see in our comments that there is an English question about lack of ID for a child. Shukri, if you can bring... Okay, so we have the question. What happens when a child doesn't have any ID and the parent is waiting for a court order? Will they still be able to apply after the 30th of June? So let me translate that. O manoška melte janel socărel pe canale și avorăs nailes nicek actul nicek documentul, hai lângă părinți ajucăren ec decizia ande cris. Will this cam daștin onte aplikin palau tranda Iunie.
I would advise to make the application without the ID and explain why you can't provide the ID. So you might place almost a kind of interim application, and then if you can obtain the ID further down the line, then you can add to it. But I would advise again to get a legal advisor for that, to request a paper application and to place the application before the 30th of June.
Kana tu mesana da gădea situația, tu me trebunte roden sfatul legalo, tale deja tu me trebunte încercunte aplikin bicate el tu mareli la. Deci cărene aplicația ages, hai jicai tu mari aplicația ca statuso da silando procesul, tu me aplikin cal acte de identitate. Tale saec roden sfatul, hai le manuș trebunte ajutun, tu me trebunte el posibilo. So we have some other questions. Let's try to answer them. Again, anyone who wants to ask us something, feel free to comment below the video. And our next question is the following. I've been waiting for many months to receive the Home Office decision. What can I do? Ader pushimos ca simeamen. O manoș pinel. Meju gardem but shon ca te primiu decizia către Home Office. Tale sani primisurdima. Sote kera.
And did you want me to answer that, Aluna? Sorry.
Yes, please, of course, yeah, if you can.
It really depends how many months. EUSS applications sometimes take days, sometimes take weeks, and sometimes they take months. It would be good to know why you think it might have been delayed. And otherwise, I would advise to seek again legal advice or representation to try and push the Home Office to make a decision.
Depindil câte vreme tu mergi, gădea de procesul de știu de el câteva, ghes câteva curcă sau câteva șon. Tu mi trebuie aflin startul mare aplicații primin ec decizia, hai în orice caz, da, să tu mi trebuie rodin ajutor legal, că n-ai tu mi bud vremea. Yes, so we have another English question. Yes. If my son was born in this country 18 years ago, I'm British citizen. I didn't apply for my son. What can I do? Canam roșau sasarak hado an de Anglia de octoberș parpele, hai mesim ec cetățeanul britanico. Meni cărdem lesche aplicația, sote căra.
It is highly likely that your child can apply as to register as a British citizen if they're not a British citizen already. As I just said in the last slide, can I check that you became a British citizen after they were born? And then if that's the case, I think then you should again get a bit more information from a legal advisor because they might still be British.
S-ar prinde mai angle tu me trebuie te registri tu mare și aves te primin sar cetățeanul britanico. Talia mea trebuie te hackeras. Tu me primi sardine e cetățenie pala sorac hadine le chavora sau anglica te aracânga. De aia e important un momentul. Hai că trebuie tu me mai but sfaturi screen mingă. Hai rode sfatul legal. Okay. So can we go to the next question, Jean? Yeah. So the next question is, to prove my status to an employer, I can print out the letter from Home Office and show it. Romanes te penau. Dar știu mai te dovidiu mără rezidența doar ca na se caule mănușengec copia ca tărmurul statusul?
No employee should be asking for proof of settled status until the 30th of June, well, until the 1st of July. Afterwards, it should be done via the online digital status rather than printing the letter. The letter in itself is not a proof, although it has all the details on it.
Deci, socoma se pinesc că gădăia scrisoarea că tu me primina do e-mailo, gădăia nai tu mari dovada, he uenica ma ajutou tu me cancesa. Cana tu me trebunte dovedin tu maro statuso, tu me trebunte căren la online, he bușol online digital status, e share code, he amen am de pomot să mi video sarte se că avem tu mare share code. Tale connect naile ceea ce mosti manden dovada tu mare statusoske ji potranda Iunie 2021. Okay, thank you, Jean. So we have the next question. My husband or my wife wants to join me in the UK. They have never been here. Can they just visit me and apply for status while being in the UK? Hai upușimo silu. Muro rom sau mri romni, niciodată n-asan de Anglia, talecamente aven mande cate. On, da știn rom, hai romni, da știn te aven mande pa scurto timpo, hai te keren pesche aplicația cate?
If they have a valid passport or ID card with a biometric chip, then they have to apply through the EUSS scheme from their country of origin. If not, they need to apply for an EU settlement scheme family permit to come to the UK. And once they're in the UK, then they can apply to the EU settlement scheme as a family member.
Cana tu men se tu me pașaporto valido, hai kai silo chipo, tu me da știnte aplikin ca EU settlement scheme tu men dar căralan de țara kai san tu me. Cana tu me nai tu me gădea pașaporto, tu me trebunte cărenec permiso familiaco kai te aien andi Anglia, hai ca te cărene aplicația ca EU settlement scheme. Thank you very much, John. We have the next question. My mom came to the UK so she can take care of her grandchildren while I'm working. She's not on any bills, council tax, and she isn't registered at GP surgery. Can I still apply if I don't have much proof of her being here before 31st of December 2020? Hai, opușimos Romanes, silo. Mărâdei avileau mande andi Anglia, ca te beșel mărât șavorența. Nit hodem la coanau, pă nici bilo, nici po council tax, hai oi nai la GPO. Oi, da știl te aplichil ca rezidența chiar ca nai la budovezi că s-a scat de Anglia, anglo 31 decembrie?
You only need one proof of residence to apply for pre-settled status. So my question back is, do you have any proof at all? And perhaps just to add that it can be any sort of official letters with her name and a date on it. And when I say official, it could be a bill, it could be anything at all, as long as it's not a letter of a friend or something.
Deci, ca te aplichi ca rezidența, ca o pre-settled status, tu me întrebul tu me doar ec dovada. Hai, maro pușumos parpele tu me îngăsilo, tu me măcar vuși, ec dovada, hai, ca na mea penas să e ca men dovada, că de trebuie să leg documentul oficialo, ca să tu maro anau, că este, hai, i data păgădaua documentul. Okay, thank you. We have the next question. I just want to remind people, if you have any questions, just feel free to comment below the video. Cana să tu me pușimata rugima tu menga screen menga andal comentarii. So we have someone who is asking, I have a criminal history, so I'm scared to apply for status as I fear deportation or extradition. Hai romanes gadawa pușimos să logada. Masima istoria criminalo. Hai me darau te cărau aplicația ca rezidența ca te na deportinma. So te cărau.
I would just say that you need to seek legal advice as soon as possible, so then you can decide the best course of action for you before the 30th of June.
So cam te penau tu menga că tu me trebunte rodin sfatul legalo, so mai sigur că tu me trebunte cărene decizia jipo tranda Iunie gadawa berș. And I think we've already spoken about deportations and about, criminal history in the presentation that you've given us earlier. Камато е пнал камя майдам думан да гадая ситуация май англиан de презентация de I guess. This session will be recorded, so feel free to come back to it whenever you have time and review all the information. Гадай sesiunea cam el înregistrime. Hai, dar știi de dicând la oricana camen te aflin mai but sau te mai revizuin le pușimata încă data. Thank you, Jean. We have the next person asking. My cousin who has never been to the UK got the job offer as a live-in carer. Can she come to the UK and work? Hai, Romanes cam penal. Mre pejni që gdata nasan de Anglia tale ua raklau buki sar kajte ingrijil le puren ande Anglia. Oi da știu te avel hai de căril bukia cana?
The short answer is no. She would need to have some form of work visa, in this case, a health and care worker visa, which she can obtain via an approved employer, often the NHS or someone working for the NHS. It's again really important. That's going to be the major difference after Brexit, is that EU nationals are not going to have the right to come and work here as they used to.
Da, kada je sejak pušimos importanto, hai kama se pnja suminga că pala o Brexit, hai pala kada e perioada de grație, le cetățene andai Uniunea Europa che nica mai ele posibilitatea tăiena de Anglia, hai de cărim buchi sa kada de ușorul să rom cărdinela mai angle. O răspunsul poate mă rup pušimos silunici, tu me nida știn tăien te cărim buchi, tu gadea ușorul, tu me trebuie tu me ec viza buchiache, hai trebuie te căreu tu mingula ec angajatorul oficialo, gadea să o NHS anda tu mări situația. Thank you. We go to the next question. My parents work in the UK, but I've never been there. I would like to settle there with them. Can I apply for pre-settled or paid status for me if I'm under 21 years old? Hai o pușimos romanes cama el. Măre părinți cărem buchei an de Anglia, tămâni cigdata ni sima slende. Me camau te așau te traiu lența o te an de Anglia. Me da știu te aplichiu ca o pre-settled statusul sau ca o ex-statusul ca o paid status, ca naman naima bișta ec berș.
I don't know what paid status is, but other than that, really it's the same answer as we said before about people coming in. For people who are not in the UK currently but joining family members, they need to apply from their country of origin before they come.
A meni že nas siga da statuto koje bo paid status, tale o răspunsul se lo sago dua, ca na tu men se tu me documento valido kaj siles cipo, tu me da știnte care tu mari aplicația, tu men dar căralan tu mari țara. And I think if they're under 21, they can, until certain age, they can apply independently. And I think until 18 years, link their application to their parents.
Until 21, they can link it to the parents. That's correct.
Da, hai kana tu men se tu me mai hansi de bișta ec bărș, tu meni da știn de aplikin corcoro, tu me trebun te căren tu mare aplicația pe baza ca aplicația tu mare perențenghe. Thank you. We can go to the next question. Can I apply for my child if he doesn't have a passport? So, da știu me de cărau aplicația mărăția vărăschi că n-ales pașaportul?
First of all, I would need more information about parents' status before really answering this question properly, because as we saw in the last slide, they may or may not already be a British citizen or able to register as a British citizen.
Ca te răspunsul pe gădău pușimos m-a întrebat mai mult informația andau statutul lângă părințengo, da? S-ar prindea mai anglal, tu me, dar știu te tu me posibilitatea de aplici digdata, ca te tu me cetățenia britanico, da? Ca na sant și roha aracadile ca te părințendr ca să le definitiv tu remi, sau da știm te aplici pala so o și avorom pleno deșberș, depindil anda tu mari situațiile părințenghe. Thank you.
However, if you need to make an application for your child, then I would advise to request a paper application from the Resolution Center and submit the application before the 30th of June. You will need to explain why you don't have a passport for the child, and I would advise to get support to do this type of application.
Та recomasta penasumi că în orice caz, ai că tu mi trebunte sunin ca o resolution center, centru de rezoluție, hai te mangân e aplicația pe foaia, da, ca bușol, că tu mi dași de scrin la leva stessa, hai te căreen tu mari aplicația sa și potranda Iunie, sunin ca o resolution center, henel nega tu mari situația, star tu me nai tu me lil, hai un cam încercon te ajuton tu me. So we have some questions in Romanes. Shukri, feel free to share it with us. Okay, it's in Romanian. Noi vrem să mergem în iulie în vacanță în România cu toată familia să stăm o lună. E vreo problemă când ne vom întoarce din Anglia? So this question is in Romanian. I will translate it in two languages. So English is first. We want to go to a vacation with all the family back in Romania for 1 month. Will it be any problem when we come back 1 month later? And let me translate it to Romanes. Romanesul pușimos silugada. Meha amări familia ca noastră tradas căren de România de vacanța păie cășon. Amen, dar știinte enami probleme ca nairi să me parpele?
There shouldn't be any problems. However, just to be secure, I would print out the letters that granted you settled status or pre-settled status. Okay. And maybe you translate that, then I say the other thing.
Не trebuie el nici problema. Tale, în orice caz, len hai printin e copia, da? Len copia în tu mare scrisoarea că ai primit sardinela în email-o, că ai scris tu maro statuso, len la tu mența po drum, hai, ca na trebuie să caien la pe pohotaro, cărenga, da? Yeah?
And the most secure way is to check that your digital status still has the right ID. Do you want me to say a little bit more on that, Aluna?
Let me translate that one. Thank you. Yeah. Soma importanto si că tu maro statusul digitalo te aveles sagudua documento sagudua pasaporto si importanto ca na schimbono pasaporto schimbon hai tu maro statusul. Yes.
Your settled status number starting with 3434 is linked to your individual ID, like when you made the application. So if you change passport or if you change ID, then you should link it to your digital profile. So when you come to the border, there is no problem.
Yeah. Tu maro statusul sile sec numărul ca început pe gadea trânștar, sile deșușu cifre. Gadaua codo silu pandado tu mare documentosa, su pasaporto sau buletino. Cana tu me schimbon tu maro buletino sau pasaporto, tu me trebunte denanda tu mare sistem online, hai te penen că home office cu tu me schimbo sarde. Atunci, cana na când hotaro, on can verifikin tu maro codo, hai tu maro pasaporto. Cana on coincidin, nica mel tu me nici problem. Okay. Thank you very much. Again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask us in the comment below. Kana sutme pushimata screenaming andal commentari. We still have a few questions to answer from our beneficiaries that we already work with. And the first one is, I mean, it's not the first one, but still, I already have pre-settled status, but I would like to bring my partner who has never been to the UK. Can I do this if we don't have a marriage certificate? Hai Romanes opushimos penel. Massima statuso pre-settled, hai cam after akharav ande Anglia mre romes, ca nici data nas ande Anglia. Da știi lo te avel ca te canamen naemen nici certificato maritimasco?
It is possible, but it is not necessarily simple. And in order to do this, they will again need to apply from their country of origin. And because you don't, if you're not married, then you will need to show evidence of your relationship. And there's 2 or even 3 things that you need to do. you need to show that your relationship existed before the 31st of December 2020, and you need to show that it kind of like it existed for at least 2 years. So, and that can be shown through bank statements, like joint bank statements, or other official documents that you have together, or joint responsibilities for a child. So it's quite heavy on the evidence that you have to provide that your relationship is genuine. And the final thing is that you will need to show evidence that your relationship continues to exist on the date of your application. Sorry, Aluna, that was a lot of it.
No, it's fine. I take notes, it's fine. Da, gădăia si posibilul tale n-ai gădea de ușorul, gădăia procesul sulu paru. În primul rând, da, tu me sai găda știi de aplikin, anda tu mari țara de origine, te cai sa, ca na tu me, si tu me pașaportul hai buletinul cai să le cipo, sau aver felul, tu me trebuie te demonstrin că tu mari relația sili ceaci, da, tu me trebuie tu me evidența, hai so mai important, tu me trebuie te să caven, că tu me trăinas andăctan sau san andăctan, dui bărș, Anglia de 31 decembrie 2020. Plus, tu me că trebuie să caven că tu mari relația, andoghes de aghes, încă să le valido, să le ceaci. Gădea tu me dașni de cărin, ca nasi tu me cardo bancaro, da, conto bancaro andăctan, ca na tu me să tu me ceavură andăctan, hai le ando certificatul de naștere să le tu mare duia naua, sau averli la, ca demonstrin că tu me sana să andăctan, hai încă să andăctan. O procesul să luparută le gădea, si posibilo, hai, накринамinte că ne tu me bud vremea te cărin gădea. Thank you, Jean. We have the last question. What documents can I use as additional proof of residence if required? Hai, Romanes, soli la me mai dăștit să cava, ca te dovediv adiționalul de rezidență.
As I said before, almost anything can be used to prove your residence as long as it's got your name and a date on it, except letters from friends or postcards, but any sort of vaguely official letters is generally accepted as proof.
Da, cam asta pe nas încă data că orice documentul legal oficial silu ceacio, hai da știl te dovedil tu maro statusul tu mari rezidența, so mai important ca te aplikin, da, ca statusul rezidența. So mai important că pogadawa documentul te el tu maro anau haiek data. Tale găda ni trebuie el scrisoarea catar tu mari prieteni, catar membri tu mari familiacă sau carduri da de felicitare, hai aver o documentul trebuie el oficialo. Thank you very much.
Aluna, yeah? there was one more question, sorry. A question says, can I come to work in the UK after the 1st of January 2021 if I have not been here before, and am I eligible for pre-settled status?
So, thank you. Let me translate that. Da, mai sunt mi încă e că pușimos ca me hastar demles, hai o pușimos penel. Me da știu teau an de Anglia, palau ianuarie 2000 ca na meni și data nisima san de Anglia. Hai me da știu te aplichiu ca pre-settled status?
The short answer to this is no. Unless you apply to the EUSS scheme as a family member before coming to the UK, EU nationals are not entitled to work in the UK anymore if they come in after the 1st of January, and they're not eligible for pre-settled status because they haven't lived here before the 31st of December.
Deci, o răspunsul pe gădea întrebarea să linici, tu meni dășnite în de Anglia, hai te căren buchi, palau iec ianuarie 2000, hai biștăiec, hai tu meni dășnite în, hai te aplikin ca o pre-settled status, o ca na tu mei line pala gădea data. Tali tu meni dășnite aplikin sar membru familiaco, ca na tu maro, deci manoș de tu mari familia, sas an de Anglia, de 31 decembrie 2020. So I think we've done with questions. Thank you very much, John, for your responses. I hope we've helped people, with their situations. Camo te nei sarau le manushes che sulomența o Jean de Mars andei organizația PILC că sa spașamin de ges hai mod hodeaumenge situația realo ando EU settlement scheme ando statusuri că eta știnteien hai deaume sfatu. I just want to remind everyone that we still have less than 65 days to apply for settled or pre-settled status if you're in the UK, and you can benefit of the grace period. Please do that. Yes, I will let you know, Shukri. And apply. It is very important. If you need any help, please contact Roma Support Group, Pomoc, and PILC. We will be happy to help you. Penaptume gândată că tu mena și leptume mai hanți de 65 de chestii care întumari aplicația. Hai cana situme pușimata screen menge ando Pomoc, Roma Support Group, hai PILC. So thank you very much, and we will be back with you in Polish language and Romanian language with the same session. Thank you, Jean.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.